I was sent to the farm when it became really bad. In 1944, the bombings were maybe 2-3 times a day.
Flying fortresses, manned by United States Army Air Force crews, bound for Germany.
When I first went to the farm, it was old-fashioned, and all of a sudden, you heard airplanes up in the air.
The RAF pounding the continent by night, the Americans by day.
They were dive bombers, and they came straight down. Mein Name ist Ursula, Skutar. Ich bin von Darmstadt, Germany. Daily life during the war, it was usually everybody gets up early over there, okay, and they try to go about their normal chores, but they always have in mind that when the sirens start, you better go. You still had whatever you could eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the family still gathered together at night, and until it got really bad, and then I don't think people even went to work anymore. As a kid, you did your normal stuff. I mean, in the beginning, I went to school every day, and my mom was a homemaker, and grandparents lived with us. When you're little, your friends are mostly around your area, and we played. You know, lots of times it was interrupted by the sirens, and then you had to run in the cellar. As a child, you were scared. We went to bed with our clothes and shoes on. My father was, he had to go into the Air Force, and he was drafted. Then there was just my mom, myself, and my sister. We didn't see him much, maybe once ever so often. After 1941, the air raids began, and that was every day, every night, every day.
The Allied Bomber Command is now dealing heavier blows on Germany than last year's record assault. In little over half an hour, the Allied planes dropped 800 tons of bombs direct on their target.
In 1944, the bombings were maybe 2-3 times a day, and they tried to take young children out. So my mother agreed, although she had no choice. There were about 20 kids from my neighborhood, and we were put on a train, and we were sent to the farm. Didn't know where we were going, and we went to the city hall there. Kids were crying, and I refused to cry, and some lady comes up to me, and she said, "I want you." So I went with them, and they were good people, and I left the farm. When I first went to the farm, it was old-fashioned, and the plow was pulled by the cow, and the farmer was in the back. He was doing his thing, and I was just hanging out, and the wagon that the cow was attached to was standing, and all of a sudden, you heard airplanes up in the air, and he kept yelling at me. He said, take cover," and he went into the groove, and I didn't know what he was talking about. And I was so scared, I went under the wagon. He kept screaming, "Get out from under there, the cow's gonna take off and you're gonna get killed." That was the first experience. The other time I wound up in a little creek, you know, because that's the only place I could find. Some Hitler Youth group had their exercise, and they were walking. They disappeared in the woods. You know, we were out in the open.
The battleship Missouri, 53,000-ton flagship of Admiral Halsey's Third Fleet, becomes the scene of an unforgettable ceremony marking the complete and formal surrender of Japan. The final United Nations victory has been won. The war is over. Peace is here.
My sister came at the same time. She went to Cleveland and I went to Detroit. But we went on a boat, on a ship, and we were on there 10 days. It was difficult, but I think I did a pretty good job. The language barrier that was in the beginning was a problem because I hardly spoke English. I had tiny little dictionaries that I took, and little by little, you just pick it up. I got married, I had a family, I had 4 children. I had a wonderful family on my husband's side too. They were very kind, and that made it easier. It's just wonderful being here. I became a U.S. citizen November 3rd, 1975.